Tickle cheese!
Alright, we're out here. Live line and bunker. Using RediRigs. Oh jeez. This guy looks like he's got some action. Come on. Come on. We got these bunkers suspended in the water column using the RediRig floats. Fish were on the bunker pods just a while ago, but now everything blew up and everything's scattered. So we came out to the point here, fishing rocky bottom and see what happens. Again, we got 3 rods out, 3 live bunker, live line, whole bunker. And on RediRigs. See if we can put a fish together. Hey folks, how you doing? Captain Mark, IncentiveFishing.com. Episode today, the RediRig secret squirrel technique that I use fishing. Alright, I'm going to go through it real quick and show you exactly what controlled depth fishing is all about, and something that I do for a long time. I started it by doing this with a poodle noodle. Grab the fishing rod here. Alright, I used to take a pool noodle and just use a rubber band to get to the depth that I want to do. And what would happen is this pool noodle will go all the way up to the top guide and jam me up and screw me up when I'm fishing. Alright, RediRig at RediRig.com has invented a very simple but brilliant little technique here. It's called the RediRig float. Also, they also have RediRig planer boards, and we'll get to these in a little bit. Alright, I want to show you exactly what I do with these things and how I fish them, and how they're probably one of the best things in my tackle box when it comes to fishing. Alright, obviously allowed us to catch these fish right here in this picture. And just to qualify something here, this video was taken a couple years ago when there was a limit of 2 fish per person if that second fish is over 40 inches. So one of those fish right there is over 40 inches. See, when you do the math, you can say there's 3 people on that boat and there are 4 bass on that boat. Well, we keep our bass, we keep them through the winter and all that stuff, and our deer too, so we live on that stuff. So that second fish was over 40 inches, that's why you see 3 on that boat, okay? Let's go through what RediRig is all about. And we're going to go through the first thing is what we do when we're going to go out there and we're live lining eels and we're trying to do controlled depth, alright? What I usually do is I will have a number 6 odds J hook, octopus, and put that to 50-pound leader. When I fish RediRigs on eels, I don't do long leaders. I'll do maybe a 3-foot leader, and that leader right there would stop at 3 feet, and the barrel will be attached to that. Alright, this is a long leader because I'm using this for clam bellies. Alright, this is a rod I have at my house, we're not using it right now. So right there you'd have your 3-foot leader with your J hook on it to the eel, and above that to your rod is going to be 30-pound monofilament, what I use. And above that I would put on glass beads, and I'll get to that in a second why we use glass beads. And I would also, now if I'm going to be fishing 18 feet of water, I would peel off probably 15 feet, not probably, it's definitely what I'd do. I would start from the hook, and I'd go, this is a 5-foot span for me, 1, 2, 3. What's 3 times 5? It's 15. Alright, there you go. Alright, so that's what we have. We have 15. So what we'll do now is we'll take a RediRig float. We know our bait is 15 feet below that float. So on the top of that float you have just a quick little snap swivel, and that's going to be a top. Alright, that's the only thing you really need to know about RediRig. What's the top and what's the bottom? The top is your snap swivel. You snap that swivel on. Now it stays on the line. You don't lose it. Even if you lose it, put your name on it, IncentiveFishing.com. Alright, you can do that too. Doesn't mean anybody's gonna give it back to you. And then the second piece is a plunger at the bottom here. You guys see that plunger work? You're gonna take your line and you're just gonna plunge it in the plunger. Alright, there is different ways of doing the plunger now. You can go deep into the plunger, or you can kinda have your line right on the outside of the plunger, give it less resistance to release. Alright, froggier baits, you want to go deeper into the plunger. Softer baits outside the plunger, very light. Alright, this makes the eel release a lot easier. So eels, I don't do that much. I'll keep it right outside the plunger, and that's it. So now what we have here is we have the RediRig float going in the water. We're sending it out behind the boat, and the eel now is 15 feet below that float. Can't get any deeper because it's controlled depth now. That eel cannot pull that bobber under. So The eel now is trying to do what eels usually do. They're trying to dig down to the bottom. That's what they're going to do. If any of you guys have experience like we do fishing eels, when you drop that eel in the water, the first thing he's doing, he's diving for the bottom of the sea floor so he can get into structure and get the heck out of Dodge, all right? Bunker are different. We'll get to that in a second. But now what's happening when that eel now is below that float, it's diving, it's constantly diving. What's happening is shaking those glass beads. Those glass beads are hitting each other now, and it's making noise in the water column. What does that do? It's huge. Fish, number one reaction is to noise, all right? That's gonna say, hey, what's going on? Noise travels a lot faster in water, and the fish will sense it with their lateral lines, all right? So now the fish are gonna say, hey, what's that? Boom, they see the eel, they're gonna go up and get the eel. Two things will happen. They'll either take that eel and take off with it, or they're just going to take that eel and pull it straight down. Both perfect scenarios for the RediRig. What happens is once there's tension on that and you set that hook, that releases. It's that simple. It releases that simple, and it goes all the way down to those glass beads and stops right at that glass bead. So 3 feet above that fish is your RediRig float. So RediRig's, I like this, their motto: fight the fish, not your tackle. That's exactly what you're doing here. That fish now releases, that bobber releases right down to the fish, and now you have to fight that fish directly to the hook, all right? You have to deal with any flotation, you have to deal with this stuff, getting stuck. Garbage, all right? It's garbage. RediRig has come a long way, saved my butt, all right? However, I do a little differently. I do the old Kid Cochise RediRig, all right? I paint them with that, all right? That's my outboard motor paint. And when you use these rigs out there, they blend perfectly with the water and nobody knows what the heck you're doing out there. I've been doing it for a long time. I really don't like people looking at what I do. However, I'm putting this on my channel, so I'm kind of giving you guys a little direction. Go get your RediRig floats. It's a huge, huge technique to catch a big fish. This video you see coming up here with Hunter and my little guy Travis catching fish, it's all because of RediRig. These fish would not have been caught without RediRigs, and these other guys didn't catch fish because they were following pods of bunker around. What I did is I grabbed my bunker and I moved over to shallow water, and then I controlled all the depths of those baits, and that's how we hooked up all these fish, all right? So something to think about. Go to RediRig. They got a Facebook page, they got a web page. Look them up, RediRig.com. Go out there and get your stuff, all right? So that's it. It's very simple. All right, we're going to go to now a bunker. We're going to use bunker now. Bunker, I do 2 different ways. If you guys want to know, just give me a holler. Write something below here. Bunker, we're going to do either a tandem rig, a double hook rig, because bunker is a very big feisty bait, you know. Bunker or a school fish though, so they have 2 different ways. They stay within the pod, and 9 out of 10 times they'll come up top in the column and kind of float around the top. That's what screws them up. So again, we'll hook the bunker up. It's going to be a longer leader. I probably do a 6-foot leader on that, and just because I do. And then what I'll do is I'll go, if I'm in 18 feet of water, I'll drop it down again. We're going to feed out, boom, 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 3 times, 15 feet. So now we know that bunker can't get any deeper than 15 feet in the column and that 18-foot drop. And again, the same scenario is going to happen. But what's cool about the RediRig float is now you got the RediRig float, or say for instance you use my float, which is also a RediRig float. I call it Kid Cochise float. It's stealth. What happens is now you have the bunker now pulling on the top of the water, creating a wake and making some disturbance, and he's also pulling this around. So it almost looks like 2 bunker initially, because this now, as that bunker pulls, it makes this have a wake. It's very effective. So sometimes you'll see what happens. A bass will come up and tap the RediRig float, you know, especially this one, the colored one. And they'll tap it, they'll get away from it, and they're gonna go right over, and they're gonna see the real deal, and then they're gonna go take up their bunker. So what's cool about this is kids can do this. Kids can sit out there and they can send their float out there and just watch their float and watch their bunker. If it goes out the port side, you look out the port side and then they see there what's going to happen. 9 out of 10 times that bunker is going to come to the top of the column. So now you have a direct line to that fish, and then the bass is going to start playing with it and then ultimately eat it, and then it's going to release perfectly, and then the kids can catch their fish very simply. All right, it's very visual. That's what I love about the RediRig floats. This is my favorite one right here. It's the smaller one. It's got a smaller entry into the water, so if it does get pulled down, it has less resistance than the big floats. But these are good for tuna fishing. Guys out, going out and do controlled depth when they're out there. You see me do the offshore stuff with tuna. This is a perfect application. And in the water at night, because we do night chunking, this is the perfect one. All right, so you can kind of put your flashlight out there and you can pick up this high visibility RediRig float. All right. Let me show you another thing real quick. I'm going through this fairly quickly, but something that we used the other day is this little guy here. Great for freshwater application. All this stuff is applicable to freshwater also. But this little guy right here, I cast out a bunch of peanut bunker the other day, and we threw this guy out. And it's just the same concept, same thing, same plunger. See the plunger moving? And we were just casting this to where we couldn't get with the boat because it was really dicey and rocky. We'd cast these off, and then the peanut bunker would be presented right really shallow. So we'd do a 5-foot leader onto this, cast it out with a conventional, a spinning rod, and then same concept, catching, sea bass. We're catching this. It was pretty cool. All right, now what we got? Aha! What are these? No, they're not the Sputnik, not this crazy stuff. This is the RediRig planer floats. All right, 2 different techniques. Again, freshwater application is good on this, and I use it too on when I have a little Minn Kota trolling motor on the back of my boat. What happens here, and this is colored for navigation, left is red, right is green. Look at your boat, same stuff. So you know this goes on the right side of your boat, which is the starboard side. This would go on your port side. What happens is they have drag on them. You see these little anchor angles? What happens is when you're pulling water, they plane out. All right, so as you go, these will go outside the footprint of your boat, and then what you'll do is you'll also throw up in the middle of your boat. You'll put the RediRig conventional floats up the middle. So these guys are cool, really cool stuff. No different. Lines that come through here, stuck on the plunger, and it goes out with the boat. So you can use a trolling motor. So if you want to hit controlled depths and hit contour lines, and let me show you really quick now. Let's get into contour lines and how to effectively use RediRigs and how to really keep those baits in the strike zone. Huge important technique in fishing the RediRig floats. All right, RediRig. Oh geez, you can't see mine almost, right? You almost can't see it on this. All right, stay tuned. Oh, it's a blue?
Oh, I don't know.
That's a bass. Try to make your way to me, all right? If you can. Keep the pressure on it. Nice. Keep him fine. Stay with him.
Not that. Yeah, it's a bad.
Stay right about. Go ahead, bring him up. Turn. Don't put too much pressure on him at the end there. Right? Bring him up, turn to me now. Come to me. Come to me.
I set the hook, didn't get him, pulled the bunker away from him. Then he took it again, smashed it up on top. And then...
Alright, folks, what's important about targeting these striped bass in depth, it's important. There's 2 different theories here. Striped bass will school and they'll feed, and if they have bunker, they can go anywhere in the column. They'll stay up top and they'll do whatever the heck they want. Some will stay below, the big ones will stay below, pick up the pieces. Everybody gets that stuff. But at the end of the day, striped bass are structure-oriented fish. They're going to stay down the column. They're going to stay. Their feed zone is probably 2 feet to 6 feet. 6 feet being the max. So if your baits are not presented in that bottom, and I'm going to show you a quick little video. I mean, not video, but a little picture of what RediRig's flyer is. If your fish are not down in that bottom of that column like that, it's not happening. These fish are not going to come swimming up for eels every 3 seconds. So it has to be down low in the column in that strike zone. So that's the key. There's 2 ways of doing that now. Naturally, that fish is going to swim down, that eel is going to swim down that column. You're going to give him 15 feet. If you're fishing 18 feet of water, you're getting 15 feet to get down. He's down in that 3 feet from the bottom, trying to get down. Remember, he's cracking those 2 glass beads, making a ruckus down there. It happens. It happens to me all the time. I mean, a lot. Let's put it that way. Secondly, there's a second way of doing that to make sure he's going to do that. And I'll show you use this acorn, as a matter of fact, because I don't have any gear with me. What we'll do is we'll take that 3-foot leader, and here is 3-foot leader. We will drop an egg sinker I'll use this acorn as my egg sinker right above it, all right? And that's gonna definitely keep that fish, that eel down in the strike zone, all right? That egg, that egg sinker, I was gonna say the acorn, that egg sinker will keep that fish, just like you basically swim with a cinder block above your head. You just can't get up in the column. So you're gonna stay down that strike zone whether you like it or not. It's another thing to do. So I like to do, swim one natural at 18 feet deep, swim a second one down with a 1 ounce sinker on it, egg sinker. That will keep that fish, that eel right down the strike zone. All right, folks, let me show you how to fish bottom effectively with RediRig floats, okay? All right, basically what's gonna happen is you want to target a certain depth, all right? I use a Simrad and my machine is phenomenal, all right? I can see when fish are holding in certain areas and what depths. So what I will do now is if I want to fish, and I usually stick around a 20 foot, 18 to 20 foot line, I will look at a contour line and I'll make sure that my drift, now drifts around points are different, they're not straight drift. Sometimes the tide will move you into, let's use a golf term, like a dog leg, all right? Dog leg left. So you're coming here and you're gonna start making left, you're gonna start making left around the point, all right? It still will maintain the same depth, and that's what you want to do. So to fish a RediRig float effectively is what you're going to do is you'll go up tide, stop the boat, put your track on. I showed you how to do the track on with the Simrad. You'll put your track on, stop the boat, and see what the boat does. Take the first drift for free, all right? So what's going to happen is you're going to drift now, you're going to go down, and you're going to see if you're going to work the contour line perfectly. When you look at the boat, you're going to say, okay, I held in that 18 to 20 foot spot where I want to be, perfect. You're going to take your track now from where you were down current, come back up current, deploy the RediRigs. Now you're saying you're at 18 to 20 feet. You're going to deploy those things at 16 feet, all right? So pull off 16 feet, so that's what, 3 plus 1 foot? We're not having a math lesson here, all right? And then what we'll do is we'll deploy the RediRig floats, all right? We'll put one without a sinker on it, an egg sinker, and the second one will have an egg sinker on it, all right? So now you have 2 baits. You can put 3 baits out at different depths, not different depths but different distances, I'm sorry. And then you're going to take that whole contour line and let the boat do its thing. So what happens that now will drag those baits effectively across that structure and into the strike zone, all right? That's where you'll be picking up fish. That's with eels and stuff like that. Bunker, on the other hand, they're a little more feisty. They don't go down in the column like they should. Well, they shouldn't. They can do whatever the heck they want. But bunker have the tendency to stay up in the column. So what their problem is, it's almost like a plug. They're staying up top, fish will see them. Great time to fish a RediRig float is overcast, because what happens is the fish have no problem looking up into the sky because they're not getting blinded by the sun. So they can see all silhouettes of everything. That's where that double comes in effect. It brings up, it almost looks like 2 fish up there, you know, struggling up top. So that's something to think about.
Can't see him in the sun.
It's all right. Okay, watch that drag at the boat. Remember that. Trav, you gotta hold the stick. Yeah, that's it. You got him in pretty quick, so he's pretty green here. Let him go. Remember, nice, loose that drag at the thing, at the boat. Trav, you're gonna put that thing on, just gonna walk it right in there. So don't lift until the fish is in there. Nice fish. Trap. Right to trap, right to trap, right to trap, right to trap, right to trap. Trap. Great job. Oh, Travis, you guys just don't move now. You got it, Travis. Oh my God, he's awesome, Trav.
That's a good fish. That's a good fish.
Good job, boys. Let's get that measuring tape on it.
That's a pudgy one.
Hold it up. Alright folks, we're going to end this video with a quick little video of 2 small bass going after a bunker. Just take note, you'll see the RediRig floats off on the top right of the screen. I have the just a red and white one because there's nobody out there fishing today, so I could use my obvious RediRigs. And they just mess with this bunker for a while, got some cool footage of it. But what happens is that bunker makes its way all the way back to my boat and the fish turn off on it. All right. If you guys like this video, if you think it's helpful, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, like it, whatever. Thanks for watching Kid Cochise Outdoors, and take a peek at the other videos. All right, may have a laugh or two. Share these.